love the holidays.
Yeah!
And I also love to entertain. In fact, over the years, I've gathered together my favorite recipes and ideas to create a one-of-a-kind holiday handbook. It's filled with pages and pages of cherished recipes and menus, unique party themes, cocktails for every occasion, and some really fun decorating ideas. Whether it's a classic Thanksgiving dinner, open house, or Christmas with the kids, I have everything you need to make the party truly sparkle. We're ringing in my favorite time of year.
Why do you think Secret!
With a festive brunch that celebrates the season.
It's so good.
Oh, look at Julian. Clever, clever, clever.
Plus, I'm digging into my handbook to share recipes, ideas, and tips for making the holiday truly sparkle.
So let's do a little whiskey for my sister.
It's my 'Tis the Season kickoff brunch, and you're invited. One of my favorite ways to slide into winter is with the 'Tis the Season kickoff brunch, the morning after Thanksgiving. I invite my family over for a casual bite, and then we decorate the tree. With a little planning, it's an easy one to host. My secret for success is keeping it chill, so nobody feels pressure to dress up or bring anything. And I make use of all those yummy Thanksgiving leftovers. With a warm and comforting menu including my ham and cheese bake, sweet potato puffs, crispy turkey bites, and spicy chai latte with a splash of whiskey for the grown-ups.
I feel like people have already filled their tummies with a lot of Thanksgiving stuff, and I want to use the leftovers but recreate a meal and not give them just heated leftovers. So any leftover cheeses, any leftover meats, I just put them in a baking dish, and then the next morning I beat some eggs and I add some ham or whatever, and then I put it in the oven. So it's slowly creating this wonderful aroma in the house as everybody wakes up. So I'm starting off with my ham and cheese bake, and I'm using leftover vegetables, leftover cheese from my meat and cheese platter. And I have a little bit of brie that's left over, which we're gonna sprinkle over the top. And I've got some some Parmesan, and some Gruyere. So you can use whatever kind of cheese you like. This makes for a great brunch item. Honestly, it's the best way to use leftovers. Mix them all in there. Then, about a little too much ham, so using a little bit of ham. You could use prosciutto in here, you could use salami. Even if you had even more turkey left over, you could use the turkey. Any kind of meat you want. Or keep it vegetarian. And I'm just gonna slice this up. I like Canadian bacon too, that's really good in here too. And this can be eaten room temperature or warm. Again, really easy to make. Put everything in a baking dish. You can even put all the leftovers after Thanksgiving dinner, instead of putting them in Tupperware containers or whatever, you could just put them directly in this dish. And then at the last minute, right before you pop it in the oven, you could add the custard to it. So something that can be prepped the night before or the morning of. And then I'm gonna chop some scallions just for a little freshness. A nice, light, sweet onion bite. And I'm just gonna put this right over the top. It's also a nice green color that comes through the custard once it's baked. I think a lot of times some of the best dishes that were ever created were all leftovers. I think there are a lot of dishes today, like lasagnas, different pastas. All of them were afterthoughts and using leftovers. And over here, I have my custard that I made. Eggs, milk, red pepper flakes, a little salt. I'm going to beat it all together and pour it over the top. This will get golden brown and puffy, nice and fluffy. Look at that. All right. So I'm going to pop this in the oven, 350 for 50 minutes until it puffs up and is golden brown.
Because this party's casual, simplicity is key. I'm using everyday dishes and serving the food on my coffee table so guests can help themselves. The ornaments are out and ready to go. And this year's take-home gift is right on point.
So I made these gingerbread cookies a little bit harder than normal gingerbread cookies so that I could punch a hole in the top, bake them up, decorate them, and then use them as ornaments. I mean, I like gingerbread cookies that are a little softer, but if you want to put them on a tree, you got to make them hard. And then I thought, why don't I just make a few extra and give it to everybody that comes to help me decorate? So they have a gingerbread cookie that they can hang on their tree.
Up next, I'm turning leftover sweet potatoes into gourmet treats. And speaking of leftovers, I've got a great idea on what to do with all those Thanksgiving pumpkins. I'm opening up my holiday handbook to share some of my favorite recipes, tips, and ideas for hosting a 'Tis the Season kickoff brunch. The secret for success is keeping it chill and creating a menu of Thanksgiving leftovers. My ham and cheese bake is in the oven. Time to start on my bite-sized sweet potato puffs.
I love to make sweet potatoes, and sometimes I have quite a bit left over, so I make these little turnovers, these little puffs with sweet potato. So I mash up the sweet potato, add lots of warming sweet flavors to it, and then put it in puff pastry and bake it in the oven. And everybody can have like a little sweet potato puff, and the whole house smells really good.
The filling is easy. I mash my leftover sweet potatoes and add mascarpone cheese, some ginger, cinnamon, and vanilla extract. And mix it all together.
So I've got my sweet potato filling, so now it's time to assemble my sweet potato puffs. And I'm using some store-bought puff pastry dough. Just use your fingers to just make sure that the dough is all about the same thickness. Puff pastry has a lot of butter in it. If it gets too hot, it starts to melt on your cutting board. You want to use it when it's still a little bit chilled. And I love this puff pastry dough. It just makes it so easy to make these. They're light, they're fluffy, and they are just sort of buttery, and they melt in your mouth. They're delicious. So I just cut a 3-inch circle out of the puff pastry. Now I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of the filling. Don't overfill them, a teaspoon is plenty. And using a measuring spoon can really be helpful so that you know how much you have in there. And I always make sweet potatoes at Thanksgiving. So if you have something else, you could do this with mashed potato leftovers. You could kind of add whatever kind of puree, yams, anything at all. But this is a really great way to recreate it for the next day. And when I was in cooking school, we did a lot of puff pastry. And I find that people really love the flakiness of puff pastry. And these days you can find some really good products on the market. So you can buy some puff pastry dough, keep it in your freezer, and just pull it out when you need it. Little egg wash around, it makes it easier to seal. This is something kind of fun to do with your kids too. You can have them brush it. I always have Jade brushing all this kind of stuff. I think it's super fun. And then you just fold it over, crimp the edges so it looks like a little turnover. Just like that. You want to make sure that the edges are sealed so when you bake it, the sweet potato doesn't just ooze out. Just use your fingers and crimp it. You could use a fork, pretty much anything you want. I'm making this super easy on myself. Okay, now we're gonna brush the top with a little more egg wash. So just a little beaten egg, just because this will give it a nice golden tan in the oven. Then, to allow the steam to come out, because otherwise they explode, you wanna make a little, indentation in the dough, just right on the top so the steam can come out and it can hold their shape. And then we're gonna move it to our sheet pan that I've already greased. And sprinkle the top with a little bit of cinnamon sugar because these are sweet little bites. We're gonna bake these at 425 degrees for 15 minutes. All right, I'm gonna finish these up, and up next, I'm gonna make my crispy turkey bites.
It's a great way to turn your leftover turkey and stuffing into a festive Italian appetizer. And later, a fun twist on a popular game puts the kids in the holiday spirit. I'm opening up my holiday handbook to reveal my favorite ideas for hosting a 'Tis the Season kickoff brunch. I throw this party the morning after Thanksgiving, so my secret for success is keeping it chill and turning holiday leftovers into an exciting new menu. My first two dishes are baking in the oven, filling the house with comforting aromas. Time to start on my crispy turkey bites.
Growing up in an Italian family, especially from the South, lots of arancini everywhere, so little rice balls. So I took the idea of a rice ball, and instead of making risotto and all of that, I took the leftover turkey and stuffing, and I mixed it together and used the same breading I would use for an arancini and a little egg to bind it, and I fried them into little turkey bites. So it's time to make my crispy turkey bites, and this is a great dish for leftovers. And I'm using basically a cup of leftover turkey. I have a lot of dark meat this time, so I'm using dark meat. You can use white or dark. And 1.5 cups of stuffing. Whatever kind of stuffing you have left over from Thanksgiving, you can use in this dish. And we're also adding 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. You gotta have some Parmesan cheese for a little extra cheesy flavor. Okay, next, we are going to add some rosemary. And rosemary is pretty potent, but it works really, really well with the flavors of the stuffing and the turkey. And I feel like it's a very fall herb, and it stands up really well when you fry it because the temperature is going to get nice and hot. And it's almost there. So we're going to chop up some rosemary, make it nice and fragrant. It's always tricky at Thanksgiving because I like to give everybody leftovers, but the thing is that a lot of times I have so much food that I got to find ways to kind of reinvent the dish. So this is a really fun way to do it, especially for brunch. Okay. Rosemary goes in. And now 1 egg to kind of bind the whole thing together. We're gonna mix it up. I think it'll be fun for all of us to get together and do a little tree trimming. It's a great way to eat the leftovers and get the tree all decorated and ready for Christmas, because it happens quick. So I'm going to use a small little ice cream scoop so that all of the little turkey bites are the same size. Put it in my hand. You see how it sticks together? That's the egg that's keeping everything together. Just make sure that you dice up the turkey, and you can always cut up the stuffing as well if it's bigger chunks. You get a little ball, just like a little meatball. Then I take a little piece of smoked mozzarella, which is something that you usually find in an arancino. And I just put it right in the center and cover it up with the stuffing. So it's like taking a meatball and putting something, a little surprise in the center. And that's exactly what you do with the rice balls. Okay, so now that the smoked mozz is inside, we are gonna do a traditional breading. A little flour, a little egg, and the flour, egg, breadcrumb mixture really creates a nice, light, crispy, crunchy texture on the outside. And I'm using panko instead of regular breadcrumbs just to get a lighter texture on the outside. And now, using a little bit of vegetable oil to fry these. And you just want to fry them for about 2 to 3 minutes until they're golden brown. Because what you really want to do, everything's pretty much cooked, but what you want to do is melt the smoked mozzarella inside. So when you bite into them, it just oozes smoked mozzarella. It just makes it divine. So they're great little snacks. But you do want to make them pretty close to when you're going to serve them. Make a ball. Reform it. And then in the flour, a little bit of egg, and some panko. Look at that baby. Nice and golden brown, that's what you want. They cook pretty fast, and you don't want to put too many in the oil at one time because it brings down the temperature of the oil, and then they don't get nice and golden brown. They end up steaming in oil, which is not good. Whoops, there we go. There's a good one right there. And what I like to do, right as they come out of the oil, when the breadcrumbs are still hot, is just season them with a little bit of salt. Tends to stick a little bit better. So you get a nice crust on the outside of that. I love cranberry sauce, but not everybody in my family does. So I did a cranberry mayonnaise. Mayonnaise, cranberry sauce together, very comforting, very much of the season.
I put everything in the food processor. Leftover cranberry sauce, a little mayo, and some orange zest to brighten it all up. Mix everything together and you get a beautiful pink dipping sauce.
So you just dip them and you get a little bite of Thanksgiving.
Up next, a warm and comforting drink to ring in the holidays. It's almost time for our 'Tis the Season kickoff brunch. I'm keeping it chill and using my Thanksgiving leftovers to make a festive holiday brunch and keep the kids busy.
A lot of times, just for decorating purposes, I have little pumpkins around the house. So a great way to reuse those pumpkins is to paint them. Paint the pumpkins different colors, like red and green. I do a little tic-tac-toe table. You just take a regular table, put some tape on it, and then you can play tic-tac-toe.
Yes, doing one finally.
Games are big at home, and Jade loves to play games, and she loves to win.
Jade wins.
So that will keep her occupied for a really long time. That's a really fun way to kind of engage everybody and making it fun for the whole family. I always think you have to have a warm drink that you have at brunch, because usually it's a little nippy outside and everybody needs a little something something. So I make a spiced chai latte.
I put chai tea bags in water, add some fresh peeled ginger, cinnamon sticks, and black peppercorns. I bring it to a boil and add almond milk and brown sugar. Once the ingredients are combined, I strain the tea in a crock pot.
You can make an advance and just leave it in the crock pot, and it keeps it nice and warm the entire party.
I garnish with an orange twist, and for the grown-ups, offer a splash of whiskey.
Here we go.
Yeah, what's in it? It's my spiced chai latte. Do you want to spike it? Yeah. All right. So let's do a little whiskey for my sister. Just a little bit. Okay, Lulu. Oh, thanks. Hot. I'm just gave you a splash, Exie.
Awesome.
Sean, here you go, darling.
Thank you very much. Can I get a fancy orange peel as well?
Oh, this is so good.
Really Cheers, everybody!
So you added cinnamon to the chai? Because chai already has cinnamon.
Yeah. I've used all the leftovers from yesterday, from Thanksgiving, and recreated brunch with all those leftovers.
Nice, good idea.
So we've got turkey bites over here, and that's our cranberry sauce. And then over here we have sweet potato puffs, and that's an egg bake. So basically everything else I had left over. Here, baby, just spoon it out. And then we're gonna play some games.
Who wants some
Me.
really good food?
Oh, I love Mom.
Are nice and hot. Okay, you gotta fry them right before you're gonna eat them, so the smoked mozzarella inside can gonna do, as we call in Italian, the filetto.
That's really good.
These are really good, you guys.
So
And
good.
illuminated. Oh, look at Julian.
Oh, wow.
Clever, clever, clever.
Smart guy.
Oh my gosh, the parsnips are
Seriously,
good.
everything is so good.
These are my favorite.
Favorite ones are this.
You like the drink. I love it, Julian.
The drink is delicious.
Igor's always happy. You give Igor some food, he's always happy.
Free food is the key to
No, it's just food.
No, it's just food.
Why would you
It's
say
really
food? Why
great
did you go in?
food. It's really good food.
That was the best part.
Why didn't you get that?
Julian, oh my gosh. Who wants to do this?
Me. Oh, I do.
I put everybody's names into a little baggie and everybody goes around and picks their secret Santa. Well, you also put a limit on the gift. $20 is our limit. Some years it's been $10. It kind of just depends. And it kind of creates a fun sort of vibe when Christmas comes around. Again, another bonding element, another thing that creates memories. Igor, you can't look at all of them.
You're not supposed to look, buddy.
Well,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it's
he's
mine.
supposed to look.
I mean, he could look. He just can't announce it. Bravo. All right, everybody has their secret Santa.
Yep.
Okay? Everybody knows what to do.
Yep.
All right.
Wait, what did you do?
Buy a gift. So you guys eat, do whatever you want. We can play games. We can decorate the tree. I think I need to go decorate the tree.
Are we gonna
And by
tell
the way,
who it
before you
is?
guys leave, we made you some
Oh, cute.
cookies.
Wait, do we get to tell you?
And they're actually ornaments. Igor, this happens to be yours.
Fantastic.
And we made these little ornaments and decorated them, me and
Nice.
JD.
Getting hooked up.
And you can put it on your own tree. Grab an ornament and let's do the tree. Decorate for Christmas.
Hey, I didn't put it here.
Oh, excuse me, Shorty.
Sure. I'm the master.
That looks good, Jade. Look. Go, JD, go, JD. Put it on there. Igor, hold it. Hold your breath. Ah, yes. Yay. Brava, baby.